Welcome back to the Sun Bowl, everybody. We're in El Paso, where it's UTSA against UTEP. And Chuck, interesting coaching matchup. Mike Price came out of retirement this year when UTEP asked him to return. He was here from 04 to 2012 before retiring, and he's back 0-2 the second time around, really trying to stabilize a program that was, quite honestly, just a mess 5 games in when Sean Kugler abruptly resigned, or was mutual decision, I guess it was. And then you got Frank Wilson, who's on his way up.
Well, I think this is one of those games, Don, where, you know, I think last year UTSA felt like they should have won that game. It went 5 overtimes in the Alamo Dome, so I don't think they're going to go to sleep on this winless UTEP team. But I think what's astonishing about this matchup is they played 4 times. The home team has never won.
Janil's going to bring out the kickoff. He's at the 15, and he stumbles to about the 19-yard line, and that's where UTEP will start. It's been an interesting season, to say the least, for the UTEP Miners. You talked about the home team has never won. Last year, of course, UTEP won that 5 overtime thriller in the Alamo Dome. Ryan Metz throwing the game winner. Metz has been trading possessions with Zach Greenlee at quarterback, and it looks like they're going to run out Greenlee to start. He's 45 of 91, 4 interceptions and 1 touchdown on the year.
Yeah, they've had some guys banged up all over the place, especially at this quarterback position, and Greenlee's banged up too. He's just the lesser of the 2 guys that's hurt right now.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Miners on their own 19. Greenlee going deep right away down to the corner, and it's incomplete. Hey, tonight's starting lineups are presented to you by the MCCI Medical Group, keeping you healthy. Again, we're not sure we're going to see these guys. For instance, Quadrez Wadley, the running back, is not playing tonight. They had him listed as the starter on the depth chart, but it's basically been a revolving door of players at all positions for this Miners team, as you would expect at 0-7. Kevin Dove is the tailback, lining up in the backfield with Zach Greenlee on this first possession. They hand to Dove, and he's got some room, but then he's going to be thrown down right for a gain of about 1 yard line, as Davenport came all the way out from the other side at defensive end to make the tackle.
Because of course he did. And picking up right where he's left off the last couple of weeks. I mean, this has been some kind of role for 93, and anybody who's watching UTSA football for the first time, you are in for an absolute treat. This is one of those guys that's a rising star, and we're catching him right before he goes supernova. That's the feeling I get.
They're lining him up on the right-hand side here on 3rd down and 7. Greenlee airing it out, got man wide open. He beat his man and just overshot him. But a great job by Eric Brown to beat his man down the left-hand side. Greenlee just couldn't hit him.
Well, that's exactly what UTSA was looking for here on this first possession. You know, they tried to throw the ball on 1st down, and Devron Davis had outstanding coverage on the 1st down play. They didn't get anything on that 2nd down carry. And then UTEP misses a golden opportunity to get an explosive here early.
Alan Luna back to punt. Brady Jones waiting for it. Standing at his own 35. It's a good kick. Jones will field it at about the 40. Brady Jones has some room. Look out. Brady Jones right up the middle, across midfield, and all the way down into Miner territory at about the 33-yard line.
Seen so many great special teams plays over the years from this UTSA unit. I've already turned in a couple already this season. As we take another look at this, Brady catching it in stride and gets a crease, and then, man, that's a lot of green territory right there, and you know, 1 step away from taking that thing to the house.
Julian Jackson brought him down.
How could you have a better season than this guy's having, huh? Dalton Sturm has been a machine back there as well on the offense for UTSA.
Jalen Rhodes lined up behind him after that 30-yard return by Jones. And the first look at it's a toss sweep to Rhodes. And the UTEP defense, which has struggled at this year, doing a great job of stretching it out. Tonight's starting lineups presented to you again by the MCCI Medical Group, keeping you healthy. Got a change here on this lineup as well. The left tackle Josh Dunlop has been replaced by Pastucci, who came in last week after that injury. And they're going to kind of rotate that position. In fact, Dunlop in there now. Sturm throws, fires, caught for a first down across the 25 to Josh Stewart. Stewart, UTSA's leading receiver. I guess he wasn't happy after Greg Campbell Jr. supplanted him of that last week, so he came out and had a big week last week, and he is back atop the receiving statistics for the Roadrunners.
Well, Jalen Rhodes doing a nice job coming from his other spot over there to pick up the blitz and giving Dalton an extra tick to throw that football.
UTSA changing the strong side to the right side. Sturm on a boot. Now fires. And it's incomplete as he was looking for Greg Campbell Jr. Kalon Beverly in coverage.
Yeah, Dalton doing a really nice job there because he had his check down guy wide open and it looked like he was going to go there, and then he saw Campbell Jr. flash. They just missed on it, but it was a chance to pick up more yardage on that play and roll the dice here a little bit in the early going after the great punt return by Jones.
It's going to set up second down and 10. Sturm straight drop. Now fires over into the flat to Rhodes. Rhodes puts his head down and just barrels over the defender. Gets inside the 20, down to about the 18. That'll set up third down and very manageable.
Yeah, again, Dalton doing a very good job looking downfield to the last possible second. Had a chance to maybe hit Campbell over there on the right side, but this time took the safer route. Picked up 5 or 6 yards on the play.
CSN's first half scoreboard sponsored by John Wayne Service Company. When you need heating, cooling, plumbing, or electric, call one call to fix it all, 293-6700. Third down and 5 from the 19. Sturm in the shotgun, straight drop, fires to the right-hand side. Clay's got it out of the backfield, makes a man miss, gets the first down, and nearly gets the 10-yard line.
I kind of like this look when UTSA goes with both of their stud backs in on this play. They put Rhodes out on the outside, and they had Clay come across, and he's able to get awfully close down there, and he does pick up the first down.
Not an easy catch there. Nice job by Terrell Clay, who's having a fantastic season. Jones and Campbell split to the right. They hand it inside to Clay. Clay gets about 2.5 straight ahead inside the 10.
Yeah, what were the coaches telling us this week? That they felt like Terrell Clay might be the second best guy on the team in terms of knowing this offense behind Dalton Sturm. I mean, that's high praise for this young man. And we talked a lot over the weeks about how tough it was going to be for UTSA to replace Jarvion Williams at running back, but they knew they had Jalen Rhodes, and they knew that this guy could play too, so they didn't have to go the JUCO route, go find a backup guy. They knew Clay was going to be their guy.
2nd and 7 from the 9. Yeah, Clay very much impressing the coaches with his work ethic. Sturm wanted to throw the out, now rushing. Sturm's going to run for it. He gets outside, makes a man miss, gets inside the 5 to the 4. UTSA can still pick up the first down. They need about the 2, and he's going to be about a yard short, it would appear.
He doesn't know the meaning of the word slide, does he? I mean, we see it week in and week out. It's like, dude, get down. You've got to get down, and he's just not going to do it.
Almost had his head taken off at North Texas.
Yeah, and I don't even know how he stayed in the game after that shot, but this dude is tough as nails on top of being a darn good quarterback.
It's 3rd and 1 for the Roadrunners in what would appear to be 2-down territory here. And Sturm throws the fade to the corner, and it's incomplete through the outstretched hands of Josh Stewart. Kalon Beverly again in coverage.
Yeah, it's been a really tough play for UTSA this year, trying to connect on these fades. Josh doing a really nice job, I thought, getting his body out there and trying to create some space for himself, but just not quite able to make the connection.
UTSA has had some questionable play calls inside the red zone this year. They're going to settle for 3 here for Jared Sackett, but on 3rd and 1, they throw the fade. It leads to 3 points, and UTSA on top here at the Sun Bowl. Jared Sackett now 12 of 13 on the year. Just a fantastic kicker that UTSA found as a true freshman. That 20-yarder gives them a 3-0 lead after a 9-play, 32-yard drive. All first half scoring summaries, by the way, brought to you by Ernest Roofing. Ernest Roofing, we've got you covered. Just call 844-896-LEAK.
So UTSA doing a good job working on the short field after the great play on special teams. Dalton Sturm 3 of 5 on that drive. Also had another 6 with his feet. But again, settling for 3 and not getting the touchdown. Don, that's been a problem for these guys the last couple of weeks, and that's why we keep putting it down as, you know, one of our keys to the game. They just want to be able to finish drives with touchdowns and not field goals.
You know, the statistic is very misleading because UTSA is great in the red zone. They get points, but more often than not lately, they've had to settle for 3 sometimes when 6 is what you want. And not to be critical, but 3rd down and 1 from the 3, you know, I think it's a much higher percentage play to just turn and hand the ball off to Terrell Clay.
You see Zach Greenlee from Stockton, California. Ironically enough, you know, Devron Davis, who's on the field number 1 for UTSA, covering one of his wide receivers, also from Stockton, California.
Greenlee has it right at the 25-yard line after the touchback. Flag flies as he wants to throw. He does. He just throws it out of bounds, and it may have been a free play there. We'll have to see what the call is as we go down to the field.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield. The penalties decline, 2nd down.
Rodney Burnett, our referee tonight. And it's against UTEP, so it'll be 2nd down and 15.
Greenlee doing a good job there in terms of just throwing the ball away. UTSA was outstanding in coverage. There was nowhere to go with that football.
All right, so here we go. Greenlee in the shotgun. Turns and hands off inside, gaining about 2 yards, but UTSA's defense swarming. Bayless, Kevin Strong Jr. in there. Balin Baker. I tell you what, UTSA's got some big beef right off that nose.
Yeah, and you know, UTEP's got a very big and beefy offensive line. And that's going to be one of the biggest matchups, I think, for this whole game. But you're right. I mean, we talk about Davenport a lot, and for good reason, because this guy is quickly making his way up everybody's NFL wish list. But there's some other guys on that defensive line that are also enjoying very good football seasons.
Davenport on the left end on this play as Greenlee throws to the right-hand side, and it's incomplete. But again, we have another flag down.
I think 93 was lined up offsides.
Offside, defense number 93 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
You called it, partner.
Well, he's human. How about that? I mean, you could see right before the snap, he had his foot past the football. It's like he doesn't need a head start. He's 93.
He's the one guy that doesn't need an advantage.
No, that's correct.
So 3rd and 5. By the way, all of our first half instant replays are brought to you by Lone Star Capital Bank. Lone Star Capital Bank, customized banking every step of the way. UTSA wanted to get off the field, 3rd and 5, pressure coming, and Greenlee just unloaded it, and his intended receiver not looking for the football.
Well, UTSA catches a break there because UTEP not on the right page. They had the right play called.
Look like Walter Dawn ran just kind of a different route than Greenlee was thinking of.
Yeah, they make that connection. That thing's picking up the first down. So a really nice job there by UTEP's offensive coordinator, Brian Natkin, by the way, from San Antonio Churchill High School.
Go you Chargers.
All-American tight end here at UTEP.
Jones runs up to field it at the 30, makes one man miss and takes it down to about the 37-yard line. That's where UTSA will have it when we come back. The Roadrunners lead 3-0. Now time for another message from Gun Automotive. Welcome back to El Paso. The first quarter of tonight's CSN football telecast brought to you by the Alcivar Shrine Circus. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. The Alcivar Shrine Circus coming to San Antonio. Closing in on midway in the first quarter, UTSA got points on their first drive. This drive will start at their own 37-yard line. Jalen Rhodes back in at tailback behind Dalton Sturm. And he'll take it, and he'll churn for about 4. Rhodes is such a strong physical football player. Sometimes when nothing is there, he finds a way to just grind out 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely making the most of nothing. And big Austin Pratt up there helping to pave the way. Didn't look like there was going to be a whole lot there, and there wasn't, but 2's better than none.
Sky Logan on the tackle, 2nd down and 8. Again, it's Rhodes. Oh, it's Sturm keeping, faked me out. Dalton Sturm is off to the races. All the way down, pushed out inside the 20. They're going to mark it all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that was kind of pick your poison for UTEP, and either way, that was going to go for a lot of yards. He faked me out, too. I thought Jalen had the football. He did not, and now they have it.
Holding offense number 10. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, wipes out the big gainer. We'll see if we can see it.
Correction, 2nd down.
What a great play fake, and look at that. Just every single hat on the UTEP side is going towards Rhodes.
And you can see the hole, and that's the reason he got free. So it's 10 yards from the spot.
There haven't been a lot of play designs with Dalton keeping the football this year. Talk to the UTSA coaches, you know, the biggest thing that they want to do is keep this guy upright, not get him hurt, but that's precisely why, you know, the UTEP guys, you know, had the week off. This is the 4th straight team that UTSA has played that's had a bye week before they played him, and probably hadn't seen a lot of Dalton keeping, and that's why they decided to all gamble and go with the ball carrier.
Rhodes is close to a first down, and they'll move the chains. And it'll be a new set of down for the Roadrunners. Yeah, Sturm, you know, we've seen that his entire career. He's capable of killing you with his feet. And again, surprised that we haven't seen more play calls. But again, you're right, Chuck. The lack of depth at that position, if he gets hurt, you go to a freshman. So good management by the UTSA coaching staff in that regard. They throw it out in the flat off the little screen, is coming all the way across the field. Was Campbell Jr., and he's nearly decapitated on that sideline.
Wow, what a play this is, or tackle to finish things off.
Devin Cockrell.
Yeah, number 97 Cockrell. Oh man, they just clunked heads.
That should be targeting again, but Conference USA officiating has been very suspect at the targeting call for the last 3 years that we've been calling their games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's one of those, it's hard to, again, it's hard to measure intent. You know, you don't know where a guy's going to end up. They did make helmet-to-helmet contact, so I guess the rule's pretty implicit.
That intent has nothing to do with the rule. They never measure intent. It's just, it's a fact. If your helmet hits his, is normally when they call it. Or if you load up. But maybe they saw that as, you know, negligible. Dalton Sturms at North Texas surely was not, as Clay tries to bounce out of that, and The UTEP fans are fired up after a gang tackle there at the 45. That play not going anywhere. Little extracurriculars.
Yeah, guys getting after each other. And we talked about what a fist fight this game was last year in the Alamo Dome that went 5 overtimes. But I'll tell you what, Don, you know, this UTEP defense has been put in a bind at times because of what they're not getting from their offense. You know, the first drive, they only give up 30-something yards, but they're short on the scoreboard because, you know, UTSA is working on a short field.
Frank Wilson going to take a timeout just to bend the official's ear. We'll take it with him. 3-0 Roadrunners when we come back. Welcome back. For those of you watching in San Antonio, if the Roadrunners score more tonight, you can score for less. That's right, at Monday at Mattress and Furniture for Less. If the Roadrunners score 24 or more points during tonight's game, you're going to get 15% discount Sunday and Monday at all 3 Mattress and Furniture for Less locations in San Antonio, where it's beautiful inside. Third and 13 for the Roadrunners after that timeout. Clay back there with Sturm. 3 wides to the right for Sturm, who changes some things a couple of different times. A little confusion, free blitz, throws it outside, and it's dropped. Terrell Clay had a shot at it. Tried to single him up one-on-one with the linebacker and just couldn't complete it.
Yeah, what a great play design by Frank Selfo's unit there. They had both of their wide receivers over on the right side running slants, pulling both DBs away from the flat side of the right field, or the right side of the field, and it probably wouldn't have gone for a first down, but UTSA would have at least been able to get the ball a little closer to the sticks.
So Yanni Rutsis, who's been added to the Ray Guy watch list, will kick this one, and it'll go into the end zone for no return. And UTEP will take over at the 25 when we come back. UTSA leads it here in El Paso, 3-0. Hey, welcome back. Rolling Rentals brings you tonight's UTSA team trivia question. How many games has UTSA head coach Frank Wilson coached here in the Sun Bowl? Rolling Rentals and more. Wheels, tires, appliances, electronics, no credit check, easy payment plans, low cash prices. Call 210-521-RENT. First down for Greenlee. Flag flies. So does the ball. It's knocked out of his hands of the intended receiver by Austin Jupy.
Well, that was almost a fantastic
offside.
one-handed
Defense
catch.
number 54 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Kevin Strong Jr. lined up off sides. Make it 2nd down and 5.
So, Don, basically, you know, with the coaching change for UTEP, they've gone from a 21 personnel offense to an 11 personnel offense. And so now they're running 1 back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receiver sets. And in the previous coaching regime under Kugler, there were 2 backs, 1 tight end, and 2 wide receivers. So changing it up a little bit, just trying to get the most out of this running game and passing game has been very, very difficult. I mean, you talk about these guys having to replace a guy like Aaron Jones, who had a big game last year against UTSA and has now had 2 100-yard rushing games for the Green Bay Packers. That's a lot to ask from some of these guys, and they are trying to do it by committee. But again, it's been tough sledding, and you know, here's Greenlee 0 for 5 to start this game, and before this drive started, they were 2 drives and 2 yards total offense.
2nd down and 4 after a small pickup by Kevin Dove. Yeah, Jones supposed to be here today.
Yeah, he was down on the field before the game.
Greenlee, long drop, has time. Now takes off with it. Now fires, nobody over to where he's throwing it. And he was pressured at the end there by Marcus Davenport.
Boy, this offensive line doing a really nice job on that particular play, giving Greenlee all kinds of time to throw. Unfortunately for him, there was nobody open downfield, and then when he broke outside the pocket, seemed to lose his footing on his release, but just as well because there was good coverage downfield. We talk about Will Hernandez from Las Vegas. This guy's a senior, and I'll be watching him play on Sundays. We said at the onset, 6'3", 330 pounds, was a second-team All-American a season ago and was already on the mid-season AP All-American roster last week.
Third down, throw it out in the flat, open receiver, and pass the stick, still on his feet, all the way down near the 40-yard line is Walter Don Jr. Play set up nicely.
Don Jr. doing pretty much all this himself. Got some nice blocks there, kicked out. But look at that. Able to elude and run through a couple tackles. Yards after the catch. A premium, and that was a big play for UTEP. This is so interesting, Don. You know, last year again, same kind of scenario. UTEP struggling, and UTSA's playing really good football, and we see that UTSA's got a guy down on the sideline on the far side there, and that's not a good sign. They do not want to lose another DB.
Austin Jupy gingerly running to the other side of the field.
Yeah, and he's having a whale of a season for UTSA. Covering guys, making big plays. Really outstanding cover corner. Talk week after week about in UTSA's attacking, play downhill style of defense, they really ask a lot from their corners and safeties.
They've got a couple of young ones out there right now, and Carl Austin III, who replaces Jupy on the right side. John Tavius Mosley on the left. First down, fire, caught. They throw right at him on his first snap, and it's good for a gain of about 8. Going right after Carl Austin Jr. after the substitution. Tyler Batson on the receiving end of that play.
But again, to finish my thought, remember last year, we were thinking, okay, UTSA is going to win this game easily, and then next thing you know, it's a ball game, and then it goes to overtime, 5x5. And again, you know, UTSA in the early going here is at decent field position, and yet they're only up 3-0, so it's a big drive, I think, for both teams here in the early going.
We've got the corners on an island here in this set. They hand it off up the middle. Davenport's there for the tackle right at the 49-yard line, as it was Walter Don Jr. on the carry.
King Newton also doing a nice job stuffing that up. UTSA bringing extra guys into the box. Smelling run all the way. Now creating a first down for UTEP.
And the Miners now in UTSA territory for the first time tonight. Send a man in motion, turns and hand it off to the right side, and right through the hole with lots of room is Kevin Dove. Inside the 30, it's going to be marked down to 29-yard line. Just a gasher there for Kevin Dove.
Yeah, look at these guys pulling, and then I think Kevin Dove was surprised that he found that much daylight.
22 yards for Kevin Dove on that gain.
And an outstanding job at the end of that by John Tavius Mosley to get him down on the ground. Not an easy guy, he's a load.
So the plot thickens. UTEP driving. Greenlee, straight drop, going at Mosley one-on-one, and it's knocked out of his hands. I don't know if it was dropped or if Devron Davis got a hand in there to knock it away from Eric Brown. It was close.
Well, Brown has been a load and tough to handle early on in this football game. They had him out left. This time they had him right, and you called it. Outstanding play there by Devron Davis, getting that right-handed chicken wing in there and busting that thing up at the last minute.
Boy, good makeup speed by Davis. It looked like Fields had him, or Brown had him by about 3 steps early in the route. Handoff inside, still on his feet. Being brought down right at the 25-yard line is Dove again.
UTEP looking very, very good on this drive with the throws and getting a lot of mileage out of the running game. And, you know, this is a stingy UTSA defense. It's giving up roughly, just a shade over 300 yards per game. So they're a tough unit to do anything against. And Coach Price's squad having a little success on this drive for sure.
Walter Don Jr. checks in for Dove at the tailback spot. Two receivers to the left side, one to the right. Greenlee looks right. Now rolls that way. Greenlee fires over the middle, might be intercepted, and it is. UTSA's got it on a turnover. It's Nate Gaines still on his feet, down to the 20-yard line. Scooby-Doo making a play.
Roll. Scoob absolutely baiting Greenlee to throw that football right there. That was a veteran senior move here. Greenlee's rolling out and he sees his wide receiver. He knows he's got a shot at this, but he's not even looking at Nate Gaines. And look at that. Just stepped up and made a huge play there on the back end. That's his third pick of the year.
Nate tweeting out this week that it was time for him to step up. And he kind of held himself accountable, and boy, does he. Stepping up in the red zone, Nate Gaines.
Huge turn of events there for UTSA on defense. And you're right, he tweeted something today about being determined and not letting anything affect him. Boy, that was a savvy move there.
Viewers at home astonished that Don and Chuck, these two old guys, are on Twitter. How would you know? Short handoff, good for a couple. Jalen Rhodes in at the tailback spot. Picks up about 2.
Now let's see if the UTSA offense can get something going here. And that's the biggest thing, too, as you look at 14 and how great a season he's had. I guess the best thing you can say about him is that he just does not turn the football over. Very rarely makes the wrong read or the wrong call.
Sturm, delayed handoff. Rhodes still on his feet, trying to break some tackles, and does. Maybe gains 2, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. UTSA scored early, got a field goal, and so they will lead it 3-0 after 1. UTEP made a nice long drive.
That's the end of the first quarter.
But turned it over, and the official makes the call for us. We're back with the second quarter when we come back. Welcome back to El Paso, everybody. The second quarter of tonight's CSN football broadcast, presented by the Wellmaker Law Firm. Choose well, choose Wellmaker. Call 210-828-6033. Roadrunners with a 3rd and 7 on their own 23 after we switch ends here. And you got to tip your cap to the UTEP defense. They've struggled all season long, but they've been pretty salty here against the Roadrunners in the first half tonight. Terrell Clay, the back on this play. 3 wides to the right for Sturm, 1 to the left. Campbell Jr. comes in motion. And Sturm's gonna have to run for it. He's got somebody breathing down his neck, and he's sacked. Flag flies as Sturm was dropped by Lawrence Montague. We'll see what the penalty is.
The flag came in late.
Yeah, almost like maybe he swiped his face mask on the way down. We can't tell. We're on about the 15th floor here at the Sun Bowl.
We got the best view in the house, though. This mountains and everything else.
Holding on the defense, number 3. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So UTSA's bailed out by a defensive hold. Downfield right there on the intended receiver. They just tackled Terrell Clay. It's an easy call to make.
And a huge blow for this UTEP defense, obviously, because, man, they've really been getting after it here in the early going of this football game. And Dalton just simply did not feel the pressure from his backside.
Didn't hear it, didn't feel it, didn't see it coming. But again, the hold keeps UTSA's drive alive, and a new set of downs as Terrell Clay and Devin Rothrock line up in the backfield. It's a handoff to Clay, hits the hole hard. He does that so well. Still on his feet. And Terrell Clay picks up about 15 yards. And Chuck, that was the thing that we talked about the coaches this week, is he takes on a defensive-minded attitude when people try to tackle him. He throws them off like, no. He takes it personally that you're trying to bring me down.
Well, he just, first of all, hit that hole about as quick as you can go, and then you're right. There are 3 or 4 guys on his back, and he's just dragging them all to the sticks.
First down and 10 for the Roadrunners. Clay again, hits the hole again. Terrell Clay for about 8 more, maybe 9.
We talk about the evolution of Terrell Clay, and now he's an every down back. Really does a great job on 3rd downs, picking up blitzes, and he's so good coming out of the backfield and catching the ball and getting out there in space. But you know, Coach Wilson was talking about early on in his career at UTSA, he was in his doghouse. But Terrell cleaned up some things. He's an AB student in the classroom, and boy, they love having him on this football team.
Nice job by UTEP's Devin Cockrell to get back there and trip him up. Hey, coming up at halftime, Aaron Carino will bring us a Six Flags Fright Fest halftime show. It's Halloween and nobody celebrates it like Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Six Flags Over Texas during Fright Fest. If you want some Texas-sized scares, go to sixflags.com for all the details.
Yeah, Devin Cockrell was the kid that was just a whisker late a couple of runs ago on the Terrell Clay run. He didn't whiff there.
3rd and 2. Clay, it's Rhodes across the 35, inside, down to about the 34-yard line. Jalen Rhodes off tackle.
Another great run here by the senior. Look at that. You know, a lot of guys would panic in that situation. The initial hole all covered up. And Rhodes doing a really nice job, just kind of sliding to his left, finding some open space and moving the sticks again for UTSA. It's been ground and pound on this drive.
Show a little reverse. They throw it out to Kerry Thomas Jr. Good to see him back on the playing field after being out for a couple of weeks with an injury.
Yeah, and they really need this guy. He's been one of the most reliable, consistent receiving guys that they've had in this program for the last few years. And his absence the last couple of weeks and not being full speed has really been felt by this UTSA offense.
Second down and 9. Sturm all day to throw. Rolls right. Fires. Incomplete. Just kind of threw it out of bounds. And that'll set up 3rd down and 9.
UTEP DB is doing a really nice job blanketing everybody up. And Rhodes was looking for somebody to block. And then when everything started going south, UTEP in the backfield there, he tried to find some space to get open. But Dalton Sturm decided just to throw it away and see if they can't get this 1st down on 3rd now.
All right, so here we go. Big play for the Roadrunners. Maybe 2 down territory with Sackett's leg, we'll see. Fires over the middle, and did he catch it? No. But a targeting flag comes in late on Brady Jones, who was just leveled by Kalani Smith. Kahani Smith went headhunting at the end of this play.
Well, it's defenseless receiver for sure, and ball thrown high, and he just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You hope Brady's okay. Fantastic young man, scholar athlete.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 24. That play is under review.
Yeah, it's not helmet to helmet, but when you target the head and he threw his shoulder into Brady's helmet, that's an automatic targeting and ejection. And the bigger question now is, how is Brady Jones? Because they are still attending to him. And
after review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 24 is disqualified. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Yeah, the UTEP faithful not going to like it, but it's the right call, right by the rule book. And right now, UTSA's medical staff just trying to make sure Brady Jones knows what zip code he's in.
I'll tell you what, you talk about the skill level of these players and, you know, what they can do, running, catching, doing all that, but, you know, the measure of a guy and his courage, look, he's giving it back to him, walking off the field, but my goodness, I mean, he knew he was going to get blasted, went up there and took it like a man anyway. All my respect for you, 86. You're going to get some love from your teammates, you're right. And again, Don, it's just such a hard game to officiate. You know, Brady's jumping up in the air, loses track of the ball. He's coming down. The defender's going low. They end up colliding. Hard to measure intent, but you're right, by the letter of the law, I think the ref's got it right.
It's all where it lands. If he hits him in the shoulder, it's a good play. Hits him in the head, it's not. Stern keeps, picks up a couple, and he's brought down there by the Miners' Julian Jackson.
Yeah.
Chuck, they've been listening to you. Sturm, since you made mention of it, has had two different called runs for him.
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily do that, but, you know, you're giving some team a different look. A team that's had 2 weeks to prepare for you, and you want to give them something to think about. And then, you know, you do that a couple of times, and then maybe one of the running backs busts a big one.
Larry Stevens in the game goes in motion. It's a handoff to Rhodes. He's got one man to beat. Jalen Rhodes to the 5. Jalen Rhodes, touchdown, Roadrunners. Jalen Rhodes showing serious speed around the corner to beat all the defenders, even those who had angles on him, for a 17-yard score.
Can't say enough about the job the guys up front do for UTSA on this particular run. I mean, it's just a simple handoff. Jalen Rhodes gets the edge and then picked up a great block downfield from Larry Stevens, the young man out of Brandeis High School in San Antonio. And then it's just Jalen Rhodes and that speed. And then the lunging ability there at the end.
Jared Sackett for the extra point. He's only missed one all year. That one's true. And UTSA ups the lead to 10-0. Jalen Rhodes, Terrell Clay. Little thunder and lightning. Lightning right there for the touchdown. Welcome back. The scoring summary, 10 plays, 80 yards. Took almost 5 minutes. Jalen Rhodes with that 17-yard touchdown run. Makes it 10-0 UTSA here as we're early in the second quarter. Daniel Portillo going to kick it to Terry Juniel and Warren Reddix. That ball is going to be fielded at about the 4-yard line and bringing it out across the 15, across the 20. Look out. It's Juniel down the sidelines, almost to midfield, and that's where the Miners are have it when we come back. Welcome back to El Paso, Texas. UTSA and UTEP, the Roadrunners on top, 10-0. Hey, the Conference USA standings presented by MySA.com, the largest voice in South Texas for 150 years. And there's been some interesting developments just today in Conference USA, Chuck.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing was last week, North Texas losing, stubbing their toe, and all of a sudden, it's a race again. You know, everybody else just a game in the loss column behind them.
UTEP running this way on first down. And maybe a gain of about 3 for Eric Brown. Little jet sweep action.
Yeah, and UTSA, now their defense has got to pick them up. You know, it was a great drive by the runners going down the field and really doing most of that rushing the football. So you know Coach Selfo likes that. It was just get up there and play some smash mouth. And then a strong tip of the cap by Devin Rothrock, number 47, also throwing a crushing block on that touchdown run by Rhodes.
Keep an eye on Davenport. He may have dinged his shoulder on that last tackle. Greenlee in the shotgun, being chased. Now fires. And I believe that was incomplete. Setting up 3rd down and 8. Intended for the guy who had the great kick return, Terry Juniel. Look, see, Marcus is favoring his right shoulder. He's coming out.
Well, and Eric Banks doing a really nice job there, too. For as much love as we give 93, and aptly so, Eric Banks doing a really good job there getting after the quarterback and making him get rid of that football.
I hate to see this. 3rd down and 8 for Zach Greenlee. Straight drop. Has time to throw. Fires out of the backfield. Chasing to the near side, but coming up and making a great tackle for UTSA is Brennan Johnson. And Brendan may have kept him from getting a first down there, and he'll set up 4th and 3. I believe he gets the first down, if not for Brennan coming up quickly from that corner spot.
Yeah, they're working on Marcus Davenport, and that's already a concern for this UTSA defense. We haven't even talked about big number 55, Josiah Tauefa, didn't make this trip because he's a little nicked up. Now, you can't lose those two guys for any length of time, that is for sure.
Clayton Johnson Jr., corner, not playing tonight as well. We've had some offensive line injuries too, as Brady Jones will let this one go over his head and it go in through the end zone, and so it'll be a touchback. And UTSA will have it when we come back. We'll keep our eye on big number 93 for you, and the Roadrunners will have the football trying to score here before halftime. Hey, tonight's Conference USA NCAA scoreboard brought to you by the San Antonio Express News, bringing you the real facts since 1865. Louisiana Tech, with a win over Rice, will put them momentarily ahead of the Roadrunners in the standings in the division. North Texas leads Old Dominion by 5 in the 3rd, and UAB and Southern Miss in a close one. And of course, UTSA and Louisiana Tech will end the season against each other in Ruston.
Yeah, and Love Tech, they struggled today. That game was 28-all at one point.
Clay in the backfield. Ball's complete. Josh Stewart, good for a first down. We'll check in with Marcus Davenport. Let's go down the sidelines and Aaron Carino. Aaron?
Yes, an injury update on Marcus Davenport, number 93. They are checking out his right arm. More specifically, it seems like his elbow, inside of his elbow. He is able to move it around, but he is still talking with the training staff, and his status is still questionable. Guys?
Jerry Gleason working him over. Jerry's been with UTSA 100 years. This is his 100th anniversary as trainer at UTSA.
Or at least since they started.
Way before football ever got to UTSA, he was working, I believe, with Don Eddy in that basketball program back in the early 80s.
Yep.
It's a big gain for Greg Campbell Jr. across midfield for the Roadrunners.
How about not only the play there by Campbell Jr. making that catch, but he took a little bit of a shot in the head from the defender after the play. No flag.
21-yard gain.
Just a great route. Look at that. 3 or 4 yards of separation from the nearest defender, and a little chippy there at the end, not called.
And that's Cockrell again, the same one who took out Brady Jones. New set of downs for UTSA, under 8 minutes. Sturm has time, gets hit as he throws. Got a man wide open. It's caught. It's a UTSA touchdown. Kerry Thomas Jr. coming back from injury and getting 6 from 48 yards out.
It's what he does. Makes big plays, and more often than not will find the end zone, but clearly a bust by the UTEP defense. And Dalton Sturm, man-sized throw, hanging in the pocket, gets leveled right as he throws the ball, and watches on the back end from his backside as KTJ takes it in for 6.
Sackett's extra point right down the middle. And it's 17-0 Roadrunners. Dalton Sturm hanging in there. Kerry Thomas finishing the job. Roadrunners lead it 17-zip. Kerry Thomas Jr. and the Roadrunners all smiles as it's 17-0 here in the second quarter. And you're right, Chuck, somebody just missed an assignment.
Yeah, the cornerback thought he was getting help over the top, and clearly that was not the case, and Kerry Thomas Jr. will take that. Never a better feeling for a receiver or running back when you can go into the end zone and make any kind of play and not end up on your back. Those are the kind you really like.
So Daniel Portillo will kick it off again. Junil had a great run back on his last attempt. They'll kick it to his side again, and Junil will bring it out right from the goal line. He's got speed. We saw that earlier. Now he gets outside, gets another block, and gets the 30 before he's taken down. 29-yard return.
I think what's interesting now is we're seeing UTSA get a rhythm, both throwing the ball and running the football. And, you know, we were talking to Coach Selfo this week, UTSA's offensive coordinator, and, you know, he said he was really, really proud of his guys, especially after the effort last week. They had linemen dropping like flies in that one. It was such a physical contest a week ago against Rice, but you know, he said we had guys moving from tackle to guard, a guard to center. We moved another guy out to tackle, and you know, he said the thing that he was most proud of is that they had guys go out with injury that came back, and he really thought that was a wow moment, and they really grew a lot as a unit. Just watching guys, you know, that weren't healthy, and then, you know, from their own standpoint, putting themselves back in a football game.
Handoff going nowhere as the Roadrunners strung that one out.
90 again.
Eric Banks bringing down Kevin Dove.
Yep. But just to finish the thought, you know, Coach Selfo said, you know, look, we can't, as coaches, can't put guys back in the game that are banged up. That's up to the players. So to see guys come back like they did, he was really, really like a proud papa.
Marcus Davenport sitting this series out. They fire to the right side, flag flies. It's caught for about a 2-yard gain. Eric Brown with the reception. We'll have to see what the penalty is.
Offside, defense number 30 in your neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So that's the second time we've seen that in this football game.
Stanley Dye Jr., the guilty party. There's Marcus. And you can tell he's still bothered by whatever that is on his right arm that's ailing him. 2nd and 7 after the penalty. Coming in motion, instead they'll hand right up the middle. It's about a 3-yard gain. Joshua Fields, as UTEP has gone with Kevin Dove, Walter Dawn, and Josh Fields, all kind of by committee replacing Quadrez Wadley, their leading receiver. Poor guy's only played 3 games. He averages 90 yards a game when he does play, but he's only been healthy for 3 football games this year, and it's a big reason why this offense has struggled all season, and they're 0-7. Been offsides again as Greenlee goes deep down the sidelines, got a man, and it's caught. Eric Brown again beating Stanley Dye, and a huge gain on a free play.
Offside, defense number 32. Penalties declined, first down.
Eric Brown is having his way in this football game, isn't he? And a number of times he's just flat run by his defender. Another great throw, though, Greenlee dropped it right in there as well.
So UTEP with another serious threat after that 38-yard gain. The last time they were down here, UTSA got a big defensive play, an interception by Nate Gaines. See what the Roadrunners can do here on defense. Handoff inside, got room, still churning is Fields. Nice pickup of about 8.
Is that 93 back in the football game?
I believe so. It looks like Marcus on the left side.
Well, that's a good sign if it is, but UTEP's having some success now on this running game. It's one of those things, you keep going with those looks and they keep working, you may as well keep doing it till UTSA stops it.
2nd and 2. Here it is again. Davenport chase it from the backside. It's Fields again, and Marcus has talked his way back on the field.
We talk about this guy, and now we're seeing his toughness on display. What we've seen all year long about what a great athlete he is, and we talked about it last week about him starting his high school career as a wide receiver, and the coaches at Stevens felt like, man, we got to get this guy with his hand in the ground. He's that good, and boy, they didn't miss there. And he tries to stretch out that elbow, but talking to Coach Wilson this week, he was telling us, what, 20-something of the NFL teams have already come to their practices?
Yep, almost all of them. He's confident it'll be all 32 by the time it's over. Slant caught at the 5. And that was Terry Juniel, kick returner. Ran a nice route right over the middle to get El Paso knocking on the door here.
Yeah, this is a nice drive by these guys to kind of counter what UTSA did. And another great throw by Greenlee, just zipping one in there past one of the UTSA defenders' arms. And now it's first and inside the 10.
Ball's on the 6. Greenlee with time, rolling right. He's going to score. Zach Greenlee walking in for a touchdown for UTEP. Nobody over there, and Greenlee just had a walk in the park.
Yeah, as soon as he broke outside, he had his choice right there. He could have thrown for it or run with it, and discretion being the better part of valor, he knew he could just tuck it and go. Check it out. Wide receivers, the DB's going with the UTEP wide receivers. The whole left side just collapsing over there, and it's not going to get much easier for Greenlee.
Brady Viles on for the extra point. UTSA jumped off sides. Deveron Davis from the corner spot on the left end. And they're going to move.
Offside on the defense number 1, causing the offense to move. Half the distance to the goal, try play.
So when you move it half the distance to the goal here, you put it on about the 1, and you may change things. You may want to go for it, but they'll elect to stay with Jason Philly on the extra point attempt. This to make it 17-7. And it's good. So UTEP with signs of life here before halftime. Zach Greenlee getting it done.
Well, there you go. You can see it really well from this angle. There's just nobody there. And a walk in the park for the quarterback. And again, this UTEP team, they're resilient, if nothing else. You make the coaching change 5 weeks in, so these guys got to come in and deal with Coach Price and what he's trying to get from them. While in the back of your mind, Coach Price doesn't want this job long term. He's just helping them get to the end of the season, and he's also going to help find the next guy as well, the next head coach. But so these guys know in a couple of months, they're going to have a whole new regime. So this has been an awfully difficult situation for these kids, for these coaches, you name it, but they played a lot better these last 2 ball games. Let's go down to Aaron out on the sidelines.
Yeah, make sure you stick around for our Six Flags Fright Fest halftime show, because we'll have an interview with Deputy Athletic Director Kelly Elliott. We'll also have a fun little piece with Matt Bayless, and of course we'll have your highlights and stats all coming up after this quarter. Guys.
All right, thanks, Aaron. UTSA's got plenty of time to extend the lead here. 3:41 to go for Dalton Sturm and company. So they'll kick it deep, and electing not to run it out is Brett Winnigan. So UTSA will have it at the 25. And they've got all 3 timeouts in 3:41 here. Frank Wilson would like nothing better than a time-consuming 75-yard drive to re-grab momentum going into the locker room.
That's the big thing, stealing possessions. You're looking at the clock. You got 3:41. The biggest key here is to make sure that you are the last team with the football before the end of the first half. Now, obviously, the next big thing is get the ball down the field and get some points out of this as well. UTSA has done a really good job in these kinds of situations all year long, managing the end of halves. About as good as anybody.
Here we go. Little jet sweep coming this way. Handoff and being drilled right there at about the 29 is Greg Campbell Jr., who had the carry.
Did a really nice job cutting it back. Thought he saw a little crease there, but boy, that hole closed up very, very quickly.
Michael Lewis.
I'll tell you, man, these UTEP guys are still fighting, as you can tell. I like it. Got a football game here, 17-7 late in the second quarter.
We've got 2nd and 6 here for the Roadrunners. Fake handoff, Sturm fires, and that may have been intercepted and was. Justin Rogers with the Oski.
And the one-handed one to boot. You know, Dalton taking a little bit of a chance there, obviously. He had a receiver flash underneath. Tried to get the bigger chunk of change. But let's check it out. Is that the one-handed variety? Just a great all-around play, and I'll be doggone if it wasn't. Amazing. They put that guy at wide receiver.
That's an awesome defensive play there.
See that? He had a guy underneath there with Shaq Williams. He could have hit him. He decided to try to get the bigger yardage, and says Mr. Rogers. Not in my neighborhood.
I get it. Sophomore out of Los Angeles, California. And you know what, Chuck? With this weather, he could actually be wearing a cardigan sweater.
That's right. Well, just a huge turn of events for UTEP here. I mean, UTSA is in total control. UTEP goes down and gets a punch, and then turnover, and now we'll see what they do with the last 3 minutes of the half.
Wow. What a play for UTEP. Whistles blow pre-snap, and UTSA took a timeout. Determining if they want the 30 or the full.
Timeout, UTSA. It's their first full timeout.
You see Bo Davis, the defensive line coach in there.
Boy, what a job he's done, huh? Since he arrived here with that group.
He's got a few guys playing in the league.
Yeah.
Came from Alabama, won national championships there. UTSA in a dogfight after a mistake by Sturm. Take a look at the rest of their schedule coming up. Every win in Conference USA critical as they want to try to catch North Texas at the top of the division.
Yeah, no bunnies going out. FIU, UAB, those teams score some points. You know, they get Marshall at home, and then that big one at the end with La Tech. But this is a big one here today, and you know, I think the biggest thing now is what is UTSA's defense going to do to pick up its offense? You know, they've been a pretty clean unit over there on the offensive side, not turning the football over. Now they've kind of put their defense on the ropes. Let's see if they can pick them up.
Josh Fields in at running back on this series. Greenlee looking deep, fires underneath, and just really had double coverage there. Good job by Lakel Bass and Austin Jupy. They had the receiver blanketed who came out of the backfield.
Yeah, I think that was just a great play by Greenlee, too. He saw that as well. Double coverage, and I'm going to act like I'm throwing it to you, but I'm really not because there's just nothing there. Not going to take the loss. The pocket was starting to collapse, and tell you what, 14 almost got him a one-handed pick. It was a little closer than I thought.
Again, Marcus Davenport, I do believe gave it a try and then is back out of the football game here on this series. 2nd and 10. They hand it off, going nowhere. And a nice job in there by Carter McClin.
King Newton.
King Newton.
He decleated himself. It was so good. Of course, King, the son of Nate Newton, the Cowboys' great offensive lineman. Now they're going to come in for some different package looks on here on defense. Outstanding play. Big run stuffing, eating play, and backing up UTEP, making it 3rd and long. Let's see if UTSA tries to bring some pressure from an odd place, because this UTEP offensive line has done a pretty nice job tonight in pass protection.
3rd and 11. Greenlee got a man. Caught. Did he juggle it? Nope, it's a catch. The official all over it. Tyler Batson. Inside the 5, right at the 5. Thought he may have juggled it before he established possession in bounds. Let's see.
Well, ball's away. Well, that's awful close.
It's like
he did juggle it. And they did. UTSA brought some pressure that time. Brendan Johnson, but UTEP equal to the task, picked up the blitz, and then hit the home run down the left side.
$1:40 to go, fresh out of downs. 1st and goal from the 5. Handoff, up the middle. UTEP, touchdown. Joshua Fields with 6 for the Miners. And a huge turn of events for UTSA after the interception from Dalton Sturm. They're in for a fight now.
Yeah, it's game on. Points off of turnovers, so key in a football game, and the freshman Fields from right here in El Paso gets the punch. This UTEP program doing a really nice job recruiting their own backyard. They got like 30 kids from not only El Paso here, but nearby Las Cruces.
Keeping them at home. Phillies extra point is good. And the Miners cut the lead to a field goal as we take another look at Justin Fields willing his way in for 6.
Yeah, nothing fancy schmancy on this one. Guys lining up. Oh, look at the big pulling guard there by, that's the man we featured earlier in this football game, the All-American Hernandez. And you got a guy that's 330 pulling out there like that. That's a good place to that's a good place to go. Just follow that guy in. Don't look like Lou John's miss a meal either. Man, I think it's a big
follow him.
fellas.
If you follow him, you may not see the defense.
That's right. All right, there you go. 4 plays and a touchdown. Huge drive for UTEP as we look at our Conference USA scoreboard to see what's going on around the league. North Texas kind of stretched out their advantage there a little bit against ODU in the 4th quarter, and UAB up 8 on Southern Miss in the 4th.
So UTSA will have 1:30. And I believe they have 2 timeouts left. They know that's possible because they saw North Texas go 98 and 107 with no timeouts.
Boy, isn't it interesting how quickly these games can flip? I mean, UTSA's in absolute control. Then UTEP goes and scores and counterpunches them, then gets the quick turnover and then another touchdown. And just like that, we're talking about, you know, UTSA may be able to extend its lead right before the end of the half. And now we got a football game again.
Kid made a terrific play, Justin Rogers, on that interception. And that's one Sturm would like to have back. Instead, he's got another opportunity here to do something special. And again, give UTSA some momentum going into the locker room. As Frank Wilson fires up his offensive unit, taking the field.
And again, you know, this is Coach Price's 3rd ball game with UTEP. And, you know, they lost a close game in his opener a few weeks back against Western Kentucky. They lost 15-14. And then, you know, for the most part, they held their own against Southern Miss, and game just got a little crazy late.
Greg Campbell Jr. over the middle, good for about 9. UTSA in the 2-minute drill. We practice this all week long. Moments just like this. 1:13 and counting. 2nd and 2, Sturm. Got him again. It's caught. 1st down UTSA, Brady Jones. And here we go. No time burning any timeouts. Clock stops to reset and move the change, and then it starts with 1:03.
Big league throw by Sturm on that last one. Man, did he thread the needle.
And then whistles blow, as we have a false start going to be called against the Roadrunners. And so many things have to go right when you're trying to run clock. I mean, this 2-minute drill, not use your timeouts. Somebody just jumped early.
Did they?
Directing traffic.
Ball
here.
start. Offense number 7. 5-yard penalty. UTSA is taking their second charge timeout to prevent the 10-second runoff. 30-second timeout.
All right, so again, when you're under 2 and you have a penalty, there's a 10-second runoff, so there you go. Taking the timeout avoids that. They'll have 56. And 1 timeout left from about midfield.
Yeah, still plenty of time. Let's see what they cook up here during this timeout. You know, a couple of nice throws by Dalton to kickstart this drive. UTEP trying to make sure that everything that they see is in front of them. We'll see if they choose to bring some pressure here.
And something tells me we might see 80 involved somewhere along the line. Haven't seen much from Josh Stewart tonight, and of course he is their most dangerous weapon with his size and height and ability to go up and take it away from anybody else there. 1st and 15, Sturm got time. Goes deep, he's got Stewart. He just overshot him, had him wide open. Josh Stewart had nobody within 15 yards of him, and Dalton just airmailed it.
Toughest throws sometimes are the ones that are so wide open. It's a touch pass, and he tried not to lose him in stride and just overshot him. How the heck did Josh Stewart get that wide open? And they had a safety roll to that side. Mercy. Let's see they go back to it.
2nd and 15, Sturm's gonna take off and run. Sturm sits down there. Let's see if they spike here, not burn the timeout as we tick inside 40. Taking too long here to decide what to do. They're gonna go ahead and run a play because it's 3rd down. Sturm, the slant, incomplete, and that'll set up 4th down with 27 seconds to go. 4th and 7. And now the smart move might be to just punt it away.
Well, as much as I'd like to see him gamble and go for it, you know, at some point you got to manage a football game. And that's exactly what Coach Wilson is doing right now. I mean, it's a 3-point game. You had your chance. You didn't convert. You know, it'll make a bad situation worse. Plus, who knows what they'll dial up from this formation. We've seen them do quite a number of things over the last couple of years.
Yanni Rootsas, one of the best in the country. Sidewinder, gets off a high kick, kind of off the side of his leg. It's going to bounce and do a great coffin corner job inside the 10. Let's see where they mark it. Right at the 11-yard line. And so UTEP will have 18 seconds, so they'll probably be content with running out the clock and going into the locker room only down 3. But boy, Dalton Sturm has 2 throws here in the late 2nd quarter that he would love to have back.
Yeah, it's been an interesting ball game from that perspective. You know, just when it looked like UTSA was starting to get a rhythm offensively, you know, they had 1 touchdown drive. They did most of their damage running the football. And then the subsequent drive after that, they did a lot of damage through the air. So it looked like things were rolling, things were going their way. They were not only scoring touchdowns and finishing drives that way, their defense was doing a really good job keeping UTEP down. But then UTEP answers with a touchdown, gets the turnover, and then they're able to come back, and now it's 17-14.
So Greenlee will turn and hand it off right up the middle to a gain of about 3 by Joshua Fields. And that should do it. UTSA in a dogfight they did not necessarily expect from these UTEP Miners. 17-14 our halftime score. Stick around for our halftime show. And in the meantime, we're going to go down to the sidelines, and Aaron is going to catch up with Coach Frank Wilson here in just a few seconds. And we'll get his thoughts on those last two possessions. Not exactly what he would like. Let's go down, and here's Aaron Carino.
Coach, UTEP got in a little bit of a rhythm there toward the end. What else do you need to do in the second half to hold them off?
I think, you know, like we did early on, when we get in the red zone, we got to produce touchdowns and not field goals, and then not give up the big play. We got to be better. We had them on 3rd and long, an opportunity to get the offense back on the field, and we did not do that. We gave up a big play. So we have to limit the big plays and score when we get in the red zone.
Piggybacking off of that, and it really is anyone's game, what more do you need offensively and defensively?
Touchdowns offensively and defensively, not to give up the big play. I think we're in position to do good things, but we just have to be more consistent.
Good luck with the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, so UTSA will take a 17-14 lead into the half. When we come back, our halftime show will interview the assistant athletic director. We'll have all the highlights and stats, take you around the league. It's all coming up from El Paso here on the CityWide Sports Network and the CW35. Welcome back to El Paso, where Cowboy fans are. He must be confused. Tomorrow's the Cowboys game, but he's having a good time here in El Paso. And there's, speaking of the Cowboys, there's your Packer.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, rookie running back that's had a couple of 100-yard games here in the house tonight.
All right, Coach, a little bit of a spark there at the end.
Right, yeah.
What was working for your team right now?
Well, we got to act like we've been there before, you know. We haven't won too many yet this year. So, but our quarterback was off in the first quarter. We had throws. He didn't make it. We really messed up one drive. We had 2 third-down penalties that were right calls. We've just made, you know, stupid mistakes, and they scored on that. And then man coverage, and you don't cover the man, that's going to happen to you. So, and then they got a nice drive and kicked the field goal. So we're in it, and we're going to keep doing the things we did in the first half offensively, and be solid in the kicking game. We might break a kick.
You most certainly are in it still, so I bet the team is feeling great. What was said in the locker room?
Yeah, these kids have been great. They've been through so much adversity, you know, with the coaching change and losing our first game by 1, and just, I just love them. They're really doing great.
Good luck the rest of the half, guys.
Mike Price, the veteran, he's been around a long time, and he's not joking when he says they might pop one in the kicking game. Janelle has had all kinds of room to run on special teams, and the Roadrunners may think about kicking it to the other side and away from Terry Janelle. But it's UTSA that will get the kick here to start the second half. Brett Winnigan deep to receive. And Dalton Sturm, you know, Chuck, he's a competitor, a fighter. There's nothing more than he wants to come out and redeem himself for an interception and a really huge miss of Josh Stewart on that last drive.
You know, as good and as solid as he's been all year, hasn't been quite as sharp as he's normally been, but hey, that can all change in a hurry. But UTSA, they're going to have to play a very solid half of football if they're going to get out of here with a win.
About 5 yards deep, so Winnigan will kneel again, and UTSA will have it at the 25-yard line. Also, we'll keep an eye out on Marcus Davenport on the defensive side of the ball to see if he's done for the day or if he's going to play here in the second half. Tight football game. UTSA needs all the help they can get, as Chuck mentioned earlier. Starting middle linebacker, all-conference performer, Josiah Tawa-Effa, stayed back in San Antonio at home, still dealing with that left knee issue. And they're without Clayton Johnson Jr., corner who plays a lot of snaps for him, who is out tonight on the defensive side as well.
We know how banged up the offensive line is. It's been a mash unit, really, for this UTSA squad off and on these last couple of weeks. But they definitely got a lot of big studs on that defense they can ill afford to lose.
Jalen Rhodes flaring out of the backfield. Sturm goes the other way instead. He's going to take off and run it and slide down for a gain of 2. Smart play by Sturm. Maybe a little gun shy after throwing that pick, but you can always play with 2nd and 8.
Yeah, maybe taking a couple of chances there that he normally wouldn't do. And, you know, I think it's just back to basics. We got to line up, win the play, and don't try to do too much.
Blake Moorhead earning a lot of snaps tonight at wide receiver. Looks his way and completes it to Moorhead. Low on the depth chart, haven't seen him much this year. Plays behind guys like Josh Stewart and Greg Campbell and Brady Jones and Kerry Thomas and Marquez McNair. But he's been out there for a lot of snaps tonight. That's his first catch.
UTSA, Don, as you know, is so very deep at the wide receiver position. They've got 6 to 8 guys that they are absolutely comfortable with at any time in certain packages. And a lot of talent out there.
3rd and 4. Shaq Williams switches ends at tight end. Man in motion. And they're going to boot it to the right side. They're going to fire it. It's caught. And I don't believe that they're going to get the first down. Greg Campbell Jr. is going to be short, it would appear. Kalon Beverly, who's been great all night in space, making the tackle. And Yanni Rutsis will run out to punt it away. So UTSA with a 3 and out on their first possession of the second half.
Yeah, not exactly the way you wanted to start. Coming out of the locker room, to be sure. I mean, you've given UTEP all kinds of life here in that second quarter, and they're just, you know, you've given a wounded dog lots to play for here now. This is a winless team hungry to get that first victory, and they're right there.
Roots is going to kick it to Juniel. He's so dangerous. Takes a UTSA bounce. It's still rolling near the 16. And a nice roll for Yanni Rutsis, and that's where the Miners will have it. As we take a look at their last drive, the Miners seizing all the momentum after that interception. Just a one-handed grab by Justin Rogers, and Greenlee and company did the rest. Just a dime throw there to set him up.
And again, explosive plays have been a problem for UTSA the last couple of weeks. They've gotten burned on a couple of deep balls here tonight, which set up Miner touchdowns. So Zach Greenlee, after going 0 for 6 to start this football game, starting to have some success downfield. And again, this UTEP offensive line, they've got some really talented football players up there, and they've kept him clean most of the night. We've talked about how talented UTSA is on the defensive line. They're holding up their end right now.
1st and 10 for the Miners. Motion this way, hand to Dove. Dove has stood up. Lakel Bass came up from the linebacker spot like a missile, took him down.
Yeah, he got a lot of help inside too from King Newton, who's having a nice game, and no 93 to this point. So whatever is ailing Marcus Davenport on the right side of his arm or shoulder is keeping him on the sidelines right now as we begin the third quarter.
Tonight's second half scoreboard brought to you by San Antonio's finest realty, integrity, service, excellence. 2nd and 11. Greenlee fires quickly. It's caught down near the 25, short of the first down. That was Eric Brown, who's having a big night. Austin Juppy in coverage.
And see, that's what happens. You get a guy like Eric Brown who's beaten you at least twice downfield, and he was open another time. You got to lay off him because you don't want him running by you. So you give him a little cushion, right up there off the line, and that was a really nice pitch and catch to make this 3rd and short.
3rd and 2 for the Miners. Right at the 24, Joshua Fields replaces Kevin Dove at running back. Got an I formation here.
Uh-oh.
Look out, he popped it. What a great space tackle out there by UTSA. Otherwise, Fields would have housed that one.
Well, you're telling me. I mean, that's going to the house. He got just a little crease. Boy, look at these guys pulling. I'll tell you what, you can't say enough about the job 76 is doing and why he was a second-team All-American last year. Nate Gaines doing a great job there. That was a game changer.
Yeah, it was I thought it was either Gaines or Bassett was Gaines. What a nice tackle by Nate. New set of downs, though, for the Miners. Here's Fields again. And the longer this goes, the more confidence this team has.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it right before your very eyes. I mean, again, they've made strides these last couple of ball games, and then they had the bye week, so they got an extra week to scheme UTSA, and then you add all the injuries and some of the, players that are running in and out of here, and all of a sudden, there's signs of life in this squad.
Yeah. And UTEP not going to hear anything about injuries because they've been banged up more than probably anybody in the conference. Greenlee has time. Going deep, but their route was cut off. A little miscommunication there. Hey, all of our second half instant replays are presented by Thomas J. Henry. When your family needs help, call Thomas J. Henry 24/7, nights and weekends. Just miscommunication on the route. As Martell checks in, Levine comes out. And you're right, Chuck, we've seen UTSA going deep into the 2 deep depth chart, 3 deep sometimes. Nickel package here. Daryl Gottfried in. Brendan Johnson in. Greenlee fires. And it's incomplete. Good coverage out in the flat. Devron Davis over there.
Yeah, Devron Davis has had a heck of a night. He read that all the way. He jumped the route, almost got himself an interception there, but that thing was covered up all the way, and Devron's been huge all night long for UTSA since the first play of the ball game.
Kirk Johnson Jr. back for the first time tonight to receive a punt. Brady Jones, of course, got dinged earlier in the game. It's a low liner. Johnson desperately wanted to field it, but it went to the left side and out of bounds. So Dalton Sturm and company have it with a 3-point lead from El Paso. Hey, tonight's third quarter of CSN football presented by Crossroads Collision Center. Your search is over. Quality you can trust. Call 210-561-5722. 17-14, UTSA on top. About 10 minutes left in the third quarter. If you're just joining us, UTSA jumped out to a 17-0 lead, only to see UTEP rally back to score the last 14 of that first half. And now the Roadrunners find themselves in a fight here in El Paso as they turn and hand off inside, popping it across the 20. Nice 7-yard gain is Terrell Clay. Set up second down and about 3.
And then you can't say enough about the job that UTSA's defense did to get a drive stuffer to start that third quarter. I mean, your offense comes out, gives you a 3 and out. UTSA's defense doing its part to make sure UTSA maintains the lead and gets the ball back.
Throw it out in the flat. Good single coverage out there and a great tackle made in space by the Miner defense. Nick Needham, Dante Lovelet also out there.
Yeah, they had that one all bottled up, and now it's going to be about third and a long 4.
Shaq Williams checking into the ball game. Kerry Thomas Jr. comes out. Again, UTEP continues to single up Josh Stewart, and UTSA really hasn't had a chance to take advantage of that matchup. They did once, and Sturm overthrew him late in the first half. Something tells me they'll go back that way before this night's over. 3rd and 4 as Campbell Jr. goes left. Sturm can run for it if he wants to. He'll take off. He's got the first down and more. Slides down after a nice play by Dalton Sturm near the 35-yard line.
Tell you what, he's so big and strong in the pocket. UTEP bringing the pressure right there, and Dalton Sturm just, somebody tried to clip him with an arm tackle, and look at that, just too strong. And then thought about taking on defenders at the last minute, and then was able to slide there at the end, but you got to work on that hook slide there, big fella.
Everybody's so shocked when he does take off running because people expect to run him down, and you can't. He's much faster than he looks as Clay pops it for another good positive gain on first down, and you see Frank Selfo now really dialing into that run game. You pick up 4 or 5 on first down, it makes everything that much easier.
Absolutely. They said that was one of the keys this week is get ahead of the sticks. You've got to do something on first down so that you can really open things up later in the sequence. And UTSA with 2 nice run plays here. They've had a really nice job running the football tonight.
They're going to throw the slant to Moorhead, and he hung on to it. Young man getting his first meaningful playing time this season tonight and doing a good job with 2 receptions.
Yeah, right there, running a little slant in some heavy traffic. Again, knowing he's going to take a shot.
Sophomore from Fort Worth, All Saints High School. Moves the sticks for another first down as Kerry Thomas Jr. comes on the jet sweep. They fake it, flow it out, and Dalton just missed his man again. He had Jalen Rhodes in the flat, and Sturm is just kind of premature on a couple of these throws where he's just a little jittery, and he doesn't take his time to set his feet. When he missed Stewart earlier in the first half, same thing.
Yeah, he's just a little rushed. And, you know, that's one of those plays, too. Again, you talked about the throw to Josh Stewart late in the second quarter that he'd like to have back. He'd like to have that one, too, because if he hits his receiver in stride there, that's going to be a big gain.
It's that play that almost beat North Texas, gave him the lead. Into Rhodes, look out, Jalen Rhodes into space. Jalen Rhodes to the 40, first down, Roadrunners.
Boy, this UTSA offensive line really doing a nice job tonight. And Rhodes doing an exceptional job of really running with purpose. Of course, that's a big hole he ran through, but man, getting to the second line of defense rather easily.
Frank Selfo also mixing up the looks nicely here in the second half. A lot of different looks and keeping that UTEP defense off balance. Rhodes, play action fake. Sturm wants to throw it, got rid of it, got Rhodes. Rhodes has 1 man out there in space who got him right at the 25-yard line, and a nice job by Dalton Sturm under pressure to find his man.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of feeling his way and sidestepping the pressure. Lucky he found his safety valve and picked up a nice play. That's the thing, you know, you don't have to do too much. Just take what's in front of you. Take the safe play if it's there.
Clay in for Rhodes, who limped off. Clay breaks a tackle, picks up about 3. Again, positive yardage in the run game for UTSA on first down. Didn't seem to be serious with Jalen.
Boy, Clay doesn't need a whole lot of space, does he? He's so good at his functional speed. He's able to stop and go on a dime and just moves so very, very well.
2nd and 6 from the UTEP 23. Moorhead in motion. Clay again. Clay's got room. Spins out of 1 tackle, gets across the 20 down to the 19.
Now it's just good old-fashioned bully ball for UTSA. I mean, you're lined up to run. The defense knows you're going to run, and it's just good old-fashioned hat on hat. And Terrell Clay, once again, finishing off these runs, getting an extra 2 or 3 yards after he's contacted.
Trayvon Hughes with the tackle for the Miners. Shaq Williams checks out. Kerry Thomas Jr. and Brady Jones check in, go to the left-hand side. And I believe it's Stewart at the bottom of your screen, one-on-one again. Sturm on a keeper. They'll slung him out of bounds right there at about the 11-yard line. Another called quarterback run for Dalton. Julian Jackson, who's been all over the place for UTEP tonight, is the one to bring him down. Does get positive yardage, couple.
Yeah, and here we are, UTSA, you know, after that initial 3 and out to start the third quarter. This has been a much better drive, and it's really just back to basics. We're going to line up, we're going to pound you, and we're hopefully going to pound you into submission. And we've talked about all year how efficient UTSA has been in the red zone. They've got to get 7 here. Do not settle for 3.
And load up on the left side with Brady Jones over there now. Running slants. Dalton's got all day. Now he's got trouble. Spins out of it, fires, and I believe he caught it right at the 6-yard line. Josh Stewart with a great job to get 1 foot down.
Yeah, Dalton doing all kinds of crazy stuff in that backfield. Has all day to throw, the offensive line doing their part, and then Dalton sets this up, throws a strike to Josh Stewart, who gets that left foot in bounds. Nice play on both ends there.
3rd down and an inch.
You're gonna sneak it?
I'd run Rhodes 6 days a week and twice on Sunday.
I'd go 14.
Turns, Rhodes, straight ahead, 1st down. And you would think after the first series in the first half when they threw the fade to Stewart on 3rd and 1, the way they've kind of got UTEP on their heels on this drive is that they would smash mouth it the rest of the way here.
Absolutely, that's been the key all night long. Just running the football, doing a great job there. Reed Dara up front, finishing off his block over there on the right side. Just line him up and pound him.
Rothrock in to block at fullback for Rhodes. And Sturm dives forward. I guess he didn't get the 1st down. That was 4th and 1.
Boy, that was a lousy spot. I did too. I just took for granted that it was a 1st down.
He had 3rd down and, about 8 inches it looked like, and it looked like to me he got 3 yards.
Yeah, I didn't think it was close either, but
maybe the chain was in the wrong spot.
UTSA no worse for wear.
Now it's 1st and goal.
You got your play call and I got mine.
1st and goal from the 3. It's Rhodes. Going to get down to the 1. Did he extend for a touchdown? No. The line judge on the far side rushing in to spot it right at the half-yard line. Sky Logan brought him down short. Sturm's going to sneak it, and he should have got it with any sort of positive surge. Late on a call, and they're not going to give it to him.
Well, UTSA going with its heavy jumbo package here to try to stick this one in, and
2nd down, you do it on 2nd down, you do it on 3rd down, you do it on 4th down.
Well, give it to him again. Give it to Big Dalton again.
From an inch. This time it's Rhodes. Walks in. Touchdown, Roadrunners.
Yeah, UTEP selling out, thinking they were going to get another quarterback sneak again, and Frank Selfo mixing it up, and why not? Give it to Jalen Rhodes in his 2nd punch of the night. Huge drive to answer back for UTSA. That's how you play football right there.
I'm not going to second guess anything UTSA's coaches do. I have all the admiration in the world for both Frank Wilson and Frank Selfo. But Chuck, when Coach Wilson was being interviewed by Aaron as he went to the locker room, he made the point 3 times that when we get in the red zone, we have to score touchdowns. They did not throw a single pass from the 15-yard line in. UTSA on top, 24-14. Hey, our 2nd half scoring summaries tonight are sponsored by North Star Dodge. Open Sunday, it's your savings destination. And as we look at our scoring summary, 17 plays. It's as if the Franks said at halftime, all right, no more messing around. Smash mouth, 8:28 off the clock, 17 play drive. Wow.
Don, early in the year when they were 3-0, they wrote the book on long drives. That might be the longest one of the year. I know they had a 16-play drive, but, then the refrain from the coaching staff was, well, we need more explosive plays. But back to the basics, man. Bread and butter, control the ball, control the clock, and get down there and score a touchdown.
They also learned not to kick it to Juneel. UTEP's football when we come back. All right, back to our rolling rentals and more UTSA team trivia question. Coach, Chuck, how many times has Coach Frank Wilson coached in the Sun Bowl?
Something tells me it's a trick question, but I'm going to say 0.
Chuck, you're right. Ding, 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 ding. The answer is none. Zip, zilch, zero, nada. Not even when he was at Southern Miss. Rolling rentals and more. Wheels, tires, appliances, electronics, no credit check, easy payment plans, low cash prices. Call 210-521-RENT. UTEP completes a pass on first down. Try to get right back in this ball game. It was incomplete.
Yeah, a little skip pass there, but
Sorry about that. I was too busy reading easy payment plans, low cash prices.
oh, you nailed that.
Tyler Batson, the intended receiver.
All right, let's see if UTSA's defense can get its second stop in a row. That was a huge one the last time out.
2nd and 10 for the runners. Greenlee. Fake reverse as they hit it right up the middle, and a good gain by Kevin Dove. They've done a nice job of mixing up Dove and, again, Walter Dawn and Josh Fields.
Yeah, kind of like what UTSA is doing tonight. You know, it's all been by committee. I mean, they've got, for UTSA, Jalen Rhodes has got 49 yards rushing, Dalton's got 48, and Terrell Clay's got 47 yards. So everybody doing their part for UTSA running the ball, and same thing for UTEP.
Greenlee on 3rd and 5, trying to keep the drive alive for the Miners. Check the formation and perhaps change the play call. Firing straight down the sideline, and the seam route. It's caught. Was he inbounds? They say no. And we may go to replay. Eric Brown swears he got a foot down.
I'll tell you what, you could not cover Eric Brown any better than Devron Davis did. And UTSA, you talk about putting a guy on an island. This Brown kid's had an amazing night.
He may have a point.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that Devron did a really good job at the back end of that, forcing the receiver towards the sideline.
He's got the football there. He comes down, and
great call by the ref.
Right
wow,
there on
right
it.
there.
You can
Look at
see
that.
the ref is, side judge was all over it.
Devron doing a great job finishing off that play.
Nice high punt for UTEP. And there's going to be a flag for interfering with the opportunity to catch the football, as Kirk Johnson Jr. did his best to bring it in, but Michael Lewis was there early.
I'll say, this is not a good play.
46-yard punt from Alan Luna.
Kick catch interference against a kicking team number 12. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So UTSA will get 15 more there, and we get near the end of the third quarter here. UTSA would like nothing more than to run another 8-minute drive carrying over into the fourth quarter and put this thing away.
Not only that, I mean, that's just a huge play. You know, I don't care how long you've been playing football. You'll never, ever do that and not think that it's not going to be a penalty. So UTSA will take the gift 15 yards, and instead of having the ball right around their own 20-yard line, it's now at the 35. You get a little more breathing room. And go right back to basics. Let's see if they can stop the run, because UTSA looked really good doing so on the last drive.
Yeah, they've gotten more physical with Rhodes in there, and he's back for this series, and they toss it to him on first down. Doesn't have much, though. Good job by that UTEP defense snuffing it out. Beverly in there on the tackle. Kalon Beverly's had a good game for UTEP tonight.
That's the end of the second quarter.
And that's the end of the third quarter here in El Paso. UTSA will have it as we switch ends when we come back. Hey, all fourth quarter action tonight on the CityWide Sports Network is presented by the Alcivar Shrine Circus. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. UTSA out in front 24-14 as we start the fourth quarter. UTSA football, 2nd and 10 on their own 35-yard line. And after a very impressive drive near the end of the third quarter, it took up 8 minutes of it. UTSA looking to seal the deal here with another long drive and a good quarter of football. in motion. Fake jet sweep. Stern throws down the sidelines for Rhodes, and he's out of bounds, whether he caught it or not.
I'll tell you what, he made a heck of an adjustment coming for that football. Back shoulder throw. Not only did he catch it, he made the attempt to get that foot in. Just led a little too far outside, but that was a really nice play for the ball there by Jalen Rhodes.
Sets up 3rd down and 10. Obvious passing down here. 3 receivers wide right. And 1 to the left. Rhodes in the backfield.
You got Josh singled up down at the lower part of your screen.
Got him one-on-one. He's going the other way, and look out. Rhodes, I think they're going to call that incomplete. They should.
Yeah,
I didn't catch it.
I didn't think he caught it either. I didn't think he made a football move or did any of that stuff, and I think they are calling it incomplete.
Hard to tell from up here. Let's take a look. Bearing down on him. No, he never caught that football.
So UTEP showing a little different look here. They had a corner blitz on, coming from Dalton's blind side, and that play was going nowhere quickly.
So UTSA goes 3 and out on their first possession of the 4th quarter. Yanni roots us on to kick it off to Juniel. Punt it away, rather.
Brutus has been great tonight tilting the field.
Had some pressure there. High kick. Juniel's going to field it and going to try to return it. He's got unbelievable speed. He's caught from behind right at about the 33-yard line. 40-yard punt.
Yeah, good job covering that kick for UTSA as well.
So El Paso's got signs of life. The Miners, trailing by 10, have the football with 14:35 here. And we're going to go down to the sidelines and Aaron Carino.
Yeah, guys, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this is Mike Price's 3rd game with the Miners this season. He says, when do you get chances like this again for a 2nd time? He says when he's away from the UTEP Miners for the past couple of years, past 5 years to be exact, he said that he built a routine going to his grandkids' games. He was actually fishing when he got the call to come back. They must have said all the right things because 12 hours later, he was back in El Paso.
Yeah, Don, you know, and he also said, too, he felt like he owed this school something. They gave him a job when nobody else would, so here he is trying to help out.
At one time, he was at the height of the coaching profession, led Washington State to a couple of Rose Bowls, was hired at Alabama, was going to coach the Crimson Tide about 15 years ago, and never coached a game there after he had a few personal issues that had the Crimson Tide look for another coach.
And he also won the '94 Alamo Bowl.
That's right.
Against Baylor in a tight game back in the day.
Was that the first? I think that was the first ever Alamo Bowl. Was it? No, that was Cal.
Yeah.
It was the second one then. Greenlee throws, one-on-one coverage. Turning it around and doing a great job is Daryl Godfrey, I do believe. No flag. UTEP wants one. Godfrey had his face right looking at the intended receiver till the last minute, turned around and kind of flailed his arm, and I think he may have kind of knocked the ball out by luck, if nothing else. Good coverage.
Yeah, it really was, and that's been the refrain for the most part. You know, they've had a couple of big ones down the field, but you know, if you turn back towards the football, usually the refs will give you the benefit of the doubt, even if there is some contact. And look who's back in the game, number 93. Good to see that.
Marcus Davenport lining up at the left end right there, bottom of your screen. Having to fight through 2 men as Greenlee turns and goes to the other side. Greenlee fires right as he goes out of bounds and just throws it away. Smart call there on 3rd and 10, and so UTEP will have to punt it away.
Now, you know, Marcus Davenport's going to get a lot of kudos in the film room, just getting back on the field. He's clearly not himself, but UTEP still showing him the utmost respect with 2 guys over there blocking him and chipping him and doing everything else. And if I'm Greenlee and I see 93 on the field, I'm rolling to the other side too.
No joke. And you see, they know what they're doing. They had 2 guys blocking Davenport. Kurt Johnson Jr. back. Again, he has to race to the other side, but it'll go out of bounds right at about the 33-yard line, and that's where the Runnels will have it when we come back, leading UTEP 24-14. Welcome back to windy and chilly El Paso, Texas, where temperatures dropped a little bit in the last half hour. The winds kicked up, and UTSA trying to hang on, up 24-14 here in the fourth quarter against a feisty, winless UTEP team. Greg Campbell Jr. comes in motion as the Roadrunners turn and hand to Terrell Clay. Again, the first guy to get him is never going to tackle him because he just refuses to be tackled, no matter how big the nose guard is.
And speaking of big, you know, downfield, you got guys throwing blocks. Brady Jones is down there mixing it up with DBs. A lot of fight left in these teams. You know, they all throw their hands in the air for the fourth quarter. And this is what UTSA did so well a week ago against Rice. Really did a great job finishing the game. Let's see if they can do it here again today.
Pickup of 3, second
like
and 7.
UTEP's bringing the house.
Sturm fires, got a man, and it's incomplete. Had Brady Jones. It's probably, I don't know, not down there on the field, but maybe Aaron can tell us. It's very windy up here as the wind picked up down on the field. Sets up 3rd down and 7.
I'll tell you, talking to Coach Wilson this week, you know, he said, look, our effort, our heart, our determination, everything has been great on offense, but from a technical standpoint, we are just not there yet. And you've seen it tonight. They've had big plays. They've had plays that look like they're going to go, and it's just, they're just not quite connecting.
Rhodes picks up a few, but nowhere near the 7 needed. So UTSA, again, will have to run out and punt it.
And you got to be precise.
It's like tried to establish the run on 1st down. Again, only picked up 3. And that kind of, as you said, didn't stay ahead of the chains. And as long as you keep UTEP in this football game with guys like Terry Juniel standing on his own 20 and his kind of ability, you haven't put this thing away yet. 12 minutes to play. Rootsas. High kick's going to back Juniel up inside the 15. He's got nowhere to go, but he gets out of that. And great tackle by UTSA. Coming up is Martell. Andrew Martell keeps him from getting him the edge. UTSA up 24-14. We're back after this message from Gun Auto.
Welcome back to the Sun Bowl, where the Roadrunners lead the UTEP Miners 24-17. And as you guys mentioned earlier in the broadcast, yeah, the temperatures have dropped a little bit, and you can certainly feel it. Thermometers probably read at certain degrees, but it actually feels a lot cooler because the wind speeds have picked up as well. I'm gonna go get my jacket. Guys, how are you feeling?
We're out here with you. They put us on the roof.
Piece of cake.
It's not bad. We can tough it up. Inside handoff, good gain. About 6. Josh Fields on the carry. Great place for a football game. It's an older stadium, but it seats 51,000, open air. Beautiful inside. They wedged it inside in a couple of mountains out here. Scenic views.
It's spectacular, and then you think about all the big ball games that have been played here over the decades. Sun Bowl, one of the better bowls you're going to watch.
Always.
Late in the year.
Greenlee over the middle, single coverage. Nate Gaines doing a great job rolling up from his safety spot.
Oh, he's had a whale of a game, hasn't he? Maybe his best of the year. I mean, you talk about the interception, that's one thing, but he's been in the right place at the right time. Even on that UTEP run, that's going to the house. That's right. That might end up being a play of the game. Because UTSA was able to kind of bow its back a little bit and stiffen up and get off the field.
There we are. Up top. Not in that warm and cozy press box. No, sir. They put the opposing TV out in the elements.
Hey, I can't think of a better place to be.
It is. It's a great view.
Hey!
UTSA to the house. Touchdown. Devron Davis threw it right to him.
We are not men, we are Devo. How about that? Just sitting down, and obviously a miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. And you know, UTSA doesn't play a lot of zone. Man, there was like 3 guys right there.
This reminds me of Larry Brown against the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Threw it right at him. Devron to the house.
And he's another guy that's had an absolutely huge ball game, maybe his best game of the year, and he didn't whiff. Pick 6, and as dicey as it's been on the scoreboard for a lot of this game, UTSA's defense has been absolutely spectacular in the second half of this football game.
Devron Davis from Stockton, California, one of the most highly recruited running backs in the country. Coming out of Stockton, California, a 4-star recruit. Ended up going to JUCO, then Colorado, never played there, went back to JUCO. And Frank Wilson, with his brilliant recruiting skills, able to convince him to come to UTSA for his last 2 years. And he's showing up on some NFL scouts' radar. One of those guys that projected that could be drafted or at least free agent status.
And I'm curious, we'll have to ask him after the game if we run into him. Greenlee, the quarterback that just threw the pick, is also from his hometown.
You wonder if maybe he picked him off in high school.
Yeah. Well, I can't say enough about that. You know, the sledding has been a little rough at times for the UTSA offense tonight. And we talked about, you know, some of the guys that UTSA's had to run in on defense because of the injuries. And tell you what, that's a huge play in this football game. Duh.
Little pooch kip, fair caught at the 27-yard line. Hey, reminder, you can watch this game again tomorrow in an encore presentation at 10 a.m. on KCWX-TV. To 10 a.m. on KCWX. What a weekend for sports, huh?
Yeah.
Big time football game. That Penn State-Ohio State game could not have been any better. World Series action. Cowboys-Redskins.
Well, UTSA and their defensive coordinator, Pete Golding, really has to like the way that unit has stepped up tonight. And it's always interesting, too, Don. You get the pick 6, and the reward is you got to go right back on the field and go to work again.
Davenport in. They fake it. They hand it up the middle. Flag flies. We may have a hold. This is probably coming back. Taking it to the house is Kevin Dove. UTEP fans have a lot to cheer about, but more than likely that's coming all the way back because the umpire threw a flag right into the offensive line, where they always call holding when it comes from that position. Or a block below the knees.
Holding, offense number 58. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Let's take a look and see where it happened.
Reset the game clock to 10:44. 10:44, please.
Couldn't quite tell where it came from on that interior line. It sure enough was enough to pop Kevin Dove, but
Well, the umpire was right there, so he obviously saw something, and I'm with you. I didn't see much, if there was anything. Obviously, UTSA catches a break either way. Yeah, and talk about breaks. You not only not get the touchdown, you get backed up 10 yards for your troubles.
may have come. UTSA's Jalen Haynes, 95, was in there. It looked like he may have been kind of pulled to the side. Greenlee's got a lot of room to run. He'll slide down short of the 25. And that was 1st and 20. Picks up about 8 or 9.
You know, I'm just watching 93. How can you not, right? He's out there playing with guts and guile, still getting doubled and still working both of the guys that are trying to block him. I mean, he is having a quiet night statistically, and unlike what he's been able to do the last couple of weeks.
He's playing with one arm.
Yeah, and he's certainly gotten the attention of everybody around the country with what he's been able to do, and certainly UTEP is scheming him tonight.
Inside handoff, and right there to bring him down.
Hickey?
Anthony Hickey, number 32, all over it.
Yeah, shooting a gap, getting a chance to get some playing time today, making the most of his opportunities.
That'll set up 3rd and 19.
Make sure you roll somebody on Eric Brown, because that young man is, yeah, the 6'1" wide receiver has had a big night.
3 catches for 52 yards tonight at a 38-yarder. UTSA going with only a 3-man front. Davenport beat his man, can't get over there, and they just miss the intended receiver. Coming out of the slot was Brown. And so Greenlee and company will trot off, and they'll punt it to UTSA one more time. Kurt Johnson Jr. back to receive it.
Yeah, UTSA's defense doing the job again. It's been the refrain the entire second half. And in a fourth quarter that seemingly no time has moved off the clock.
9:13 left. A lot of incomplete short passes that stop the clock. As Johnson will return this one at the 40. Gets out of one jam, cuts it up inside, holds on to it and gets to the 45-yard line. A 41-yard punt. Kurt Johnson Jr. has UTSA in business on the UTEP end of the field. UTSA up 31-14 here in El Paso. Our CityWide Sports Network telecast brought to you by IHOP. Eat up every moment. Hey, next week, check this out. Austin College against Trinity on KCWX. Chuck McKitenick will have the call along with Mike Lefko. Aaron Carino will be down on the sidelines. You can visit CityWideSportsNetwork.com for a complete schedule of upcoming college events, basketball games as well. CSN, where it all begins. Jalen Rhodes on the carry.
You're not kidding. And then can't say enough about the job that Nick Needham did from his defensive back position, because if he doesn't track him down and come across the field, Jalen's taking that thing a lot more than 4 yards. I can assure you that.
Sets up 2nd down and 6. Sturm with Rhodes behind him. And again, we've said it most of the second half. Ground and pound will probably be the answer right here as Rhodes turns it up. Lost the football. Lost the football, and UTEP has it. Boy, he was close to being down. I'm just not sure. But we haven't had any replay here tonight, so if they rule it that way, most likely it's going to go that way. Chuck, what'd you think?
Hard to tell from this vantage point. All I know is you just got to secure the football. I mean, this is going to be a big-time offensive play.
No, it's out.
Clearly out, and what a great job hustling backside there. Alex Hernandez, I beg your pardon, Alvin Jones. Of course, Alvin Jones, the younger brother of Aaron Jones, and Alvin is an NFL prospect as well. So Alvin's been kind of quiet tonight, but he's really matured as a football player too. And it's interesting, his brother's been the running back and he's a linebacker, and I'm sure UTEP misses Aaron Jones and would love to have him back, but he's doing his work on Sundays up in Green Bay.
Yeah, what a rookie year he's having there as they hand it outside. And again, another big gain for UTEP. Fighting off tacklers. It's Kevin Dove. Roadrunners better be careful here. They're going to be in for a tight finish.
Well, they've relied on their defense in this entire second half. and every time they've answered the bell. So they're doing it with a lot of different guys coming in there. Markel, Hickey, those guys are getting a lot of snaps here in this second half.
First down and 10 for the Miners. Greenlee, straight drop, fires deep, post route. Gonna be almost intercepted as the Roadrunners had a couple of guys run into each other. Mosley, the freshman who had 2 picks a week ago.
And Daryl Godfrey back there as well. UTSA had that really blanketed well.
Mosley had his sights on that the whole way, had the interception, and I think Godfrey just ran into him, kind of broke it up accidentally.
Well, you know, those guys are both down there trying to make a play, and, you know, that's what sometimes happens. And Nate Gaines was back there as well, so they had 3 guys down there, and you'll see that all the time, Don. You got 2 guys just down there trying to make a play. They don't have any idea if they've got help there or not.
Greenlee on a boot, fires, it's caught. Broken tackle at the 50, a hurdle, and then drilled out of bounds. Was that Gaines at the end?
Darn right it was.
How about the job by Lucero?
Yeah, very nice job indeed. I mean, breaks the initial tackle, then hurdles, but he wasn't going to beat Scoob down here at the other end. What a great job keeping his balance, and then look at this guy. And then pow. Little forearm shiver right there for your trouble.
First down and 10 for UTEP, inside UTSA territory. Inside handoff again. And it's Joshua Fields. And Davenport slow to get up again.
And Lucero looked like he might have messed up a finger on that play because they were working on his hand after the Gaines hit. But this guy, 93, giving it all he's got tonight.
Hey, following the game, stay with us for the Homevestors post-game show by Homevestors. Need to sell your home quickly? Call Homevestors, the We Buy Ugly Houses people, at 1-800-44-BUYER. Greenlee running to his left, takes off, slides down, short of the 30. The drive staying alive for UTEP.
Yeah, good job there. Quarterback just living to fight another play because Eric Banks was barreling down on him. Greenlee doing a nice job picking up some yardage there. UTEP has got to keep this drive alive. Obviously down 17 with the clock now inside of 6 minutes. Pretty much do or die in this drive.
3rd and 5. You'd think they have to go for it here no matter what. So he throws it behind the intended receiver. It'll set up 4th down and 5, and UTEP in no other position but to go for it with 5:28 left.
Well, we've seen a lot of zone tonight from UTSA, and that's a lot of different looks that we haven't really seen from them. You know, they don't like to run a lot of zone, but they're sure playing it well tonight. And it's cool when you can, you know, lean on that and just disguise your coverages. I'm sure when UTEP was looking at the tape over the last 2 weeks, they didn't see a lot of zone, but they're getting a couple plays like that tonight, and it's paid dividends for UTSA.
Ball game for UTEP, 4th and 5. Greenlee runs, fires, and may have just forgotten what down it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the case.
Throws it into the seats.
And the UTEP fans are letting them have it.
Yeah, that's just a situation where you're thinking it's 3rd down and not 4th down. You're trained as a quarterback so much to, if there's nothing there, throw it away. If there's nothing there, throw it away. And it's just in your muscle memory a lot of times. And then you think, oh, wait a second, it's 4th down. Doesn't matter if I throw an interception or whatever. You probably should have taken off and run.
Right, and you talk about, again, you got a coaching change in week 5. You had some coordinators shifted around. As we said, Brian Natkin from San Antonio elevated to offensive coordinator. So a lot on these kids' plates. I know Brian's dad, Red, and his mom are watching at home tonight, awfully proud of their son, as they should be. He spent a lot of his life up here at UTEP coaching and going to school, and I know the
False
school's done
start.
a lot for him.
Offense number 83. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's just a tough situation all around for these kids and these coaches.
Did you mention he was a Churchill Charger? I know you did.
I knew that you were going to eventually get to that again at some point.
Don't make me sing the fight song. Hey, Conference USA NCAA scores this evening, sponsored by the Express News, bringing you the real facts since 1865. Some of the scores now in the books. North Texas beats Old Dominion, and UAB over Southern Miss.
Wow.
That makes it interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Terrell Clay goes right up the gut. We'll take a look at all those Conference USA standings coming up in our post-game show, so stick around for that. As UTSA content to run clock here and run the football as much as they can with positive yardage.
It's an interesting situation for UTSA because, again, North Texas stubbing its toe last week unexpectedly has turned this back into a race. And Coach Wilson says, look, we just tell our team we've got to go get the next one. We realize now we're going to need some help, but we're going to look up at 6 weeks from now and see exactly where we're at. But the biggest thing about tonight is UTSA is going to get its second win in conference play as Dalton fakes the reverse.
Got a good block.
Look at him go.
Got a good block and all the way down inside UTEP territory. What a nice play call there.
Yeah, again, they're doing that a lot tonight. Back to 2016 with a lot of keepers for Dalton Sturm.
Greg Campbell Jr., I believe, was the wide receiver.
Holding, offense, number 10, 10-yard penalty.
They caught him for it. He did such a good job. I was wondering why he did such a great job.
Well, let's check it out and see if we see it. Oh, what a great play fake. And not going to be able to tackle Mr. Dalton by his ankles.
Right there, just...
I don't know. Well, you're not going to see it there. I mean, he had a guy squared up, but, you know, just to finish the point, the biggest thing about tonight is you're going to get your second conference win, but it's going to be your 5th win of the season. So you go to 5-2, and you just need one more to get bowl eligible, and that's mighty big for a program that
just
hasn't been doing this very long.
Yeah, just made his first bowl a year ago. So the block was downfield, and it was 10 yards from the spot, so it's only 2nd and 1 here. And UTSA burns a timeout so that they don't
UTSA. That's our
get a delay of game there. And they haven't been their sharpest by any means tonight offensively. But
first timeout.
The defense doing its job. Nate Gaines with a pick, Devron Davis with a pick 6. And Roadrunners doing just enough offensively to walk out of here with what looks like it's going to be a W.
Right, you know, and plus, again, I can't say it enough. I mean, the way the schedule broke out this year for UTSA, it's hard to play a month straight where the other team gets an extra week to prepare for you.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a lot of your stuff that you've shown on film, you've got to be leery of that because you know the opposition is scheming to try to stop that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've done a pretty good job here overall tonight against a very hungry team and a team, as we said, that's played better over these last couple of ball games. And heck, they were right in this football game in this third quarter and made some plays to come out on the positive side of it.
Clay, on the left side, gets the first down and keep the clock moving.
Yep, move the chains, move the clock. Guaranteed 2 more minutes come off the field, or come off the clock, I should say, unless UTEP decides to burn timeouts.
And there's an official timeout right now as
got a man
player down on one knee. Getting up gingerly is Needham. Nick's had a big game tonight.
Sure has.
Well, he likes to lay the lumber.
Coach Price cracking me up over there watching this. So just harken back to our conference call with him on Thursday where he said, yeah, they called me, asked me to come down here and help out for a few weeks. I was fishing, playing golf, and drinking beer.
Retirement. And you know, his interview with Aaron too, coaches are wound so tight because job security is just so fickle week to week. possession to possession. One play can get you fired as a coach by an 18-year-old who makes a bad decision. And so to see a coach without a care in the world coach football, it's pretty fun to watch. Clay bouncing it inside now. Nice run by Terrell Clay. May have picked up the first down.
And it looked like the human bowling ball. I mean, he's contacted there, and you just see guys flying like bowling pins at the end of this. This guy
runs with
like
purpose,
a human grenade. Blowing stuff up.
Last week in the Alamo Dome, when he would use his off arm to sling tacklers to the ground and keep going. He just refuses to go down.
And Coach Zelvo telling us that young man is literally one of his favorite kids on the team. Just likes everything that he's all about. A former walk-on doing his thing.
Here he is again. Picks up about 4. Was in Wilson's doghouse early in his career. But with his work ethic, they recruited B.J. Daniels to come in here and be a star.
And he will be.
B.J. is one of the top recruits at running back in the country, and came in here thinking he was going to replace Clay in the depth chart right behind Jalen Rose, and Clay wanted none of it. Nobody's taking my job, so he fought through it, and his determination has really impressed the coaches. Hey, our CSN player of the game, who's rolling, presented by Rolling Rentals, is none other than Nate Gaines. Came up with a huge interception to negate the UTEP drive early in this game, and maybe made a bigger play later when he tackled Fields in space on what would have been about a 75-yard touchdown run. 3 tackles, 2 solos, an interception, kind of leading that defensive charge for this ball club. And after tweeting midweek that he's going to hold himself accountable and got to step up starting now, and then tweeting today even more stuff like that, Scooby is our CSN player of the game.
Yeah, totally baiting the quarterback to throw that football, and he got exactly what he wanted. And then again, I couldn't agree more. That tackle he made on the long UTEP run, I mean, he saved him 14 points tonight.
Clay strings it out and goes down. Clock will continue to roll. It'll be 3rd down and 8 after probably a loss of 1 there.
Uh-oh. I don't hope that's just a dent, but
only had about 8 guys on him there on that tackle. As we have 3rd down and 9, and Brett Winnigan in at running back. Throwing the slant, and it's caught by Josh Stewart. 1st down.
Love the look and love going for the jugular.
Boy, that's Cowboy fans, that's 8-88 right there. Pitch and catch.
Yeah, and this was absolutely zipped in there by Dalton. Everybody's thinking he's going to go to his safety valve, and linebacker really doesn't know what to do on that one. And the old throw him open. Really good coverage and a great job by Josh just getting inside leverage, and even better using those strong hands to bring the ball in, secure it, and Dalton can take a couple of knees here and get us on the bird home.
Victory formation from here on out. UTSA will win it 31-14 here in El Paso on Hall of Fame night. Paul Stankowski and Antonio Davis go into the UTEP Hall of Fame. Of course, the Miners have that great basketball history here. 1966 Texas Western Miners with our good friend Neville Shedd. Becoming the first team with an all-African-American starting 5 to win the NCAA championship. A rich football history as well. The Sun Bowl has its own rich tradition. But UTSA comes in tonight, and Frank Wilson will walk out with his first career win in the Sun Bowl.
And this is the 5th meeting between these two teams, and the home team has lost every single time.
Never won. Has never won. Not quite as exciting as the 5 overtime thriller a year ago, but it's a Conference USA win for the UTSA Roadrunners. Hey, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have our post-game show. We'll wrap it up here from El Paso. When we come back, UTSA a winner 31-14. The CSN final stats of tonight's game brought to you by Thomas J. Henry. When you or your family need help, call Thomas J. 24/7 nights and weekends at 210-656-1000. And Chuck, when we look at the final stats, UTSA doing it on the ground in the second half to extend the advantage and really put the game away.
You know, you got to give all the credit in the world to UTSA's defense. I mean, they came into this game ranked in the top 10 in the nation and #1 in Conference USA, leading in 6 statistical categories, and they're not going to lose any of that steam tonight. I mean, they only allowed 10 first downs in this game. You got to be kidding me. And then, you know, total yards, doing the job there, holding a team to 133 yards passing. I mean, that's just astonishing. And, you know, to come up with the 2 big turnovers, and then, you know, it was just a complete team effort again. And once again, holding a team under 300 yards of total offense. So their average is going to get better and better even after this one. Hard to believe.
Our Conference USA standings presented by MySA.com, the largest voice in South Texas for 150 years. And as we take a look at the West Division, North Texas a winner again tonight. But again, they stubbed their toe, and so UTSA 2-2, very much staying in the race.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, the best thing as you look at the standings is that they've got UAB and La Tech still left on the schedule. So there's a lot to play for down the stretch here for UTSA. And then obviously they're going to need some help from somebody against North Texas. But hey, man, just what you want. This thing is still very much in play for UTSA.
Tonight's CSN telecast of UTSA football is a Quarter Moon production. Stay with us for the Home Besters postgame show. Back with more CSN football after this.